How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another retro game stream. It's been an insanely busy week. Feels like I did the last one like 20 minutes ago, but here we are again with another set of cool games. Starting up with F-Zero X, the coolest racing game. Let me listen to this. Let me know too how audio levels sound, because I'm coming to you live from my brand new setup. Everything's been reconfigured. Everything is about a foot higher off the ground. Hey Troop, how's it going, pal? Let's get the game here though. Audio quality, I'm not sure if it's going to be noticeable, should be a little better for you guys because of some differences in the setup there. Yeah, hope everybody's had a good week. It's been a real roller coaster for me personally, so it's nice to get back to this and just hang out with some of these old school classics. Out of the three main F-Zero games we got, the SNES, this one, the one on the GameCube, they're all fantastic games, but personally I think this one is the king for me. Great sense of speed, cool tracks, incredible soundtrack. I really like the kind of comic book style, which is unique to this one. GX is great too, very clean, you know, futuristic, like techno style, both in the art and the music obviously, but this is the king for me. Yeah, Troop, strange we never got any kind of, bounty hunter game with Captain Falcon, considering, you know, that's like his job, right? If you look at the cartridge art for the original Super Famicom version of F-Zero, the majority of it is just like a paragraph talking about Captain Falcon bounty hunting. It has like nothing to do with the game whatsoever. But, I mean, it's all like hotcakes. Futuristic bounty hunting. Getting to do races whenever you want to make money to buy new gear. But incredible. So as you probably have noticed, this is coming to you live from my N64. I think there's going to be some games, some 64 games, when I'm checking them out, they'll be emulated, but the games that we'll be playing tonight, I think, for the most part, still work pretty well. 240p. Yeah, GX is insanely hard. It's one of the hardest Nintendo games ever made. Might be the hardest. It's insane. Hey Malice, how you doing? F-Zero X here. This is one of the few 60 FPS games on the system. I think there's less than 10, which is a shame. So I'm definitely on board with really minimalist, like polygon style, but it's still strong. I mean, this game looks great. Just the art style really, you know, okay, we want 60, we're not gonna have a lot of polygons on screen, let's make the most of it. Obviously, futuristic, like pointy race cars are a great fit for that. But you gotta have 60 FPS. F-Zero. Come on. Yeah, this game, one of my favorites on the system, for sure. Of all the corkscrew effects on the tracks too, they do them constantly. I love it. Yeah, X is definitely easier than GX. On the harder difficulties, it's hard, and this game does have some rubber banding. I'm surprised we haven't seen any of it yet. But pretty fair on the lower difficulties, whereas GX, there's no mercy. Playing F-Zero GX is like the Full Metal Jacket boot camp sequence in video game form. Yeah, GX was also 60. They all are. Well, the SNES, this one, and the GameCube one, those are all 60. Always a technical showcase, F-Zero. I mean, the original F-Zero was one of the launch titles for the SNES. It was Super Mario World, F-Zero, and Pilot Wings. 3 games like, hey, look what we can do with this system. In Japan, anyway. We had a few more in the West, but those were the first 3. We don't really get that. We don't really get system launches with that quality of lineup anymore, do we? It's been a while. I'm trying to think. PS3 launch games. Any killer apps? No. 360, not really. PS4, PS5, nah. Ballistic NG. Yeah, I remember that name. Trying to remember. Is that Pure Racing? I can't remember if I checked that out or not. I thought that 2D hybrid you showed me was cool. That was kind of a combination of Shinobi and then like Sega's Superscaler stuff. Oh man, this music. So this track is pretty much a total copy of Heartwork by the band Carcass, a death metal band from the 90s. I think they're still around. But there's an arranged version of this album. You know, you get those sometimes with the classic games, where it's like the songs performed on higher quality or acoustic instruments or whatever. And this track is not on there, I believe, probably specifically because of that reason. Here's the rubber banding in action, but hey, keeps it more engaging, right? Yeah, awesome. Whoa! Sense of speed in this game. Listen to this. Holy cow. This game rocks. Great race. Yeah, Ballistic NG. Let me open that another tab here while I have a sec, so I don't forget. Yeah, I'll leave that open there. Excellent. A lot of F-Zero clones tend to go a bit too crazy with the graphics. The track becomes irreadable. Yeah, definitely something to watch out for. I agree. Other futuristic racing games, I've played a few of the Wipeout games. Wipeout HD on the PS3, that was good. There was a downloadable game on the Switch. Forget what it was called. Very, very similar to F-Zero. I mean, almost a carbon copy, but given that we haven't gotten an F-Zero game now in like 2 or 3 console generations, that's okay. I wish I could remember what it was called. It definitely didn't have a physical release. It was download, at least in the US. It was download only. Is this ringing a bell for anybody? I might look this up really quick here. Fast RMX. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, Fast RMX. That was a great little showcase for the Switch. You know, not a ton of content there, but enough. It was like $15, $20, something like that. Ran at full 60, looked beautiful. Looks beautiful for the Switch, you know. It looks better than your average Switch game for sure. And that was a launch title, downloadable. Or maybe not launch, but close. Redout and Redout 2. Yeah, I haven't played any of those either. These vocals. I want to see the guy in the vocal booth recording these. I wonder who it was. Federico, hey man, how you doing? Peak racing game right here. Absolutely. Another cool aspect of the presentation here, there's like 2D kind of billboard stuff, just add a little bit more to the world on each of these planets. But they almost look like they're pulled straight out of the Super Nintendo game, which I think is a really cool effect. It's almost surreal, the blending of these two styles. Like, it's clearly 2D, but it's interesting. But yeah, these tracks, so good. Man. Watch my power meter here. As far as racing games go, this is definitely my, say, top 3. Sega Rally, this, and it's an Italian game I played recently, which is really good. Project Cars from a few years ago was all obviously very, very different kinds of games. I usually prefer more crazy, over-the-top stuff like this, but it was Italian. Began with an A. 2 A's. It was like AA something. I'm trying to remember. I played it, had a free weekend on Steam. That was really enjoyable, but I really, like I said, I'm more into these over-the-top, super fast racers. Some people have said Nintendo won't make a new F-Zero because they can't top GX. Or they just don't know how to innovate with a series beyond GX. Oh, I feel like... I think Miyamoto said something similar to the effect of the latter, but it doesn't really make sense to me, given the amount of other franchises they're happy to continue pumping out on a frequent basis. Hey, what are the innovations in Pokemon? You know? Not to hate on Pokemon, but how many of those games have we had in the last 20 years? As much as I love the 3D Zelda games too, we got quite a few of those the Ocarina format. Also, didn't Sega make GX? I think they were the primary developers on it. The Metroid hut over there. Yeah, they really have a great opportunity to expand the universe of F-Zero. It's... I don't know, it seems like there's a lot happening beyond the fringes of these racing games, you know? I think there was an anime in the early 2000s, right? All I saw was that little clip of Captain Falcon, like, sacrificing himself and a planet exploding with the power of his Falcon Punch. Which seemed pretty cool, but I mean, we got something like Nintendo Cyberpunk, basically. Cyberpunk, but good. Starring Captain Falcon. Half the game is bounty hunting, half of it's racing. You'd have both, like, the formal races like this, you know, you can compete in tournaments and all that stuff. You could have more impromptu things, like say you're driving from one bounty to your next, right? And then, what's his name? Samurai Goro there pulls up next to you and he's like, you want to race? And the stuff, you know, it just happens organically. And you would have some reward system built into that as well for winning them, of course. I mean, this is easy. Nintendo. Give me the budget, I'll make it happen. Yeah, Xenoblade, Splatoon, and Fire Emblem. Apparently those are much more profitable. I don't get it. Everybody seems to love F-Zero. Seems like a real missed opportunity, in my opinion. What were the sales of Splatoon versus Pikmin? I feel like Pikmin was always a little niche. I've never actually... No, that's not true. I've played a little of the first one. I didn't dislike it, but didn't super grab my attention, I guess. I should probably give it another shot. It's another fantastic track. Both the racing track and the music. Yeah, this soundtrack. I mentioned it a few minutes ago, but if you haven't heard the F-Zero X arranged album, do yourself a favor and check that out, because the entire thing is on YouTube. You can listen to it. It's not the highest quality, unfortunately. It's like kind of equivalent to like a less than full quality MP3. I'll just leave it at that, but still awesome, awesome album. So I mentioned Nintendo hooked me up last time. Excuse me, Nintendo Chill hooked me up with some GameCube controllers recently. But I also got some brand new N64 controllers on eBay, and I haven't felt a new N64 analog stick in 20 years, at least. You know what I mean? Something that wasn't completely worn down with all the dust in the bowl. This feels insanely good. The surface is obviously not the most comfortable thing. It's like hard plastic, but in terms of responsiveness, this feels really, really good. If you're into F-Zero or Super Mario 64, I should say if you're into playing N64 games, do yourself a favor and go get a fresh stick. Fiduka already did, of course you did, man. Awesome. Yeah, it's really good. It's kind of a territory I haven't explored enough of, those arrangement albums, classic games, because there is some gold out there. 104 tomorrow in Bongland, huh? Yeah, it's pretty out here too. Plus, I saw that picture on the Discord. I mentioned I redid my setup, and I propped everything up higher with these concrete blocks that I spray painted black. I've got the windows open in here and an air filter going, but I'm sweating and all I can smell is paint. It's not the most pleasant experience, but maybe fitting for playing this game. Yeah, it's very hot. Hey, is your internet sorted out yet? I feel like it's been an ongoing process for you. Castlevania ones with Naoto, Shibata, and Koichi Sumiya. Nice. I'm gonna add that to my many Firefox tabs here and check that out later. Only 98? It's probably high 80s, low 90s here, but the humidity is cranked. I feel like I'm in a swamp right now. Look at this. I want a giant billboard like that just says great on all sides, rotating outside my house. Oh yeah. Internet is a nightmare here. Oh man, sorry to hear that. Oh boy. I would knock on wood, but mine has been lately very good. Very fast, very stable. It's like famous last words. I'm gonna do one more cup here. Do the King Cup. My boy. I've got, yeah, with some real primo games lined up for tonight. This isn't going to be as long as the last one. It won't be a 5-hour stream. But it's got some good stuff. The Lost Isolith track. Whoa! Too bad. I think you unlock a fourth one. I can't remember. We'll see. It's been a while since I've gotten to play this in depth. Oh, yeah, okay. Stay straight on the... Stay straight. That's what you got. That's why they call it the zigzag jump, dude. Speaking of racing, I mentioned in guys' Discord I got my Sega Saturn wheel. It's like, oh great, this is going to be so much fun to play Sega Rally on and some of the other racing games on there. I don't know. It feels extremely sensitive in a way that I'm not sure if I prefer. Especially something that's, you know, again, I generally prefer the more arcadey stuff. So having to play this arcadey stuff and driving like I'm, you know, doing the most careful thing in the world is not the most appealing thing. Yeah, this track is nuts. The roller coaster. Play it safe till I hit that recovery pad again. As we were talking about earlier, the difficulty is just right in this one. The Super Nintendo game too, I guess. That was on point. Illustration of Falcon the Sick. Yeah, this art style. Beautiful. I'd love to see some high resolution, you know, the original assets for all the different material they used with these, all these cool character illustrations. I wonder if there's an art book. That is something I'd definitely be into. Speaking of art books, I ordered the Dark Souls 2 and 3 Design Works books earlier today. I've had the first one for a while, and I don't know why I didn't pick up the other two sooner. I'm looking forward to those. I've seen the PDF scan of 3 and it's really beautiful. Like, the finished game looks great, but the concept art for that is amazing. The newest printings by Udon, who did the English translations, unfortunately, I don't know why they did this. They just, you know, did these reprints of them all because they've been out of print for a while. They did these reprints, and the new covers they have are not good, in my opinion. Like, the originals are very understated, classy, really nice. The new ones are just, I don't know, they look like comic books or something. Not that I dislike comic books, but I definitely prefer the more classical, understated original art. So I hopefully made sure I got older printings for 2 and 3. So hopefully I did there. How far did I get in GX? Not very. I played, you know, the arcade mode plenty of times. The story mode or whatever, I probably got less than 50%, I want to say. It's been a long time. The only time I tried that was when it first came out, so you do the math. I played the arcade mode since then, but not that story mode. Yes. It's always nice when you're playing a game and you get those fun little power-up sounds right at the apex of a track. Those little unintentional synchronous moments, you know what I mean? Time Splitters 2? Yeah, I'm familiar with Time Splitters 2. Into that game. I haven't played it a ton, but I like it. 2 and Future Perfect. I've got both of them on my PS2 here. So, could play that at some point. Might emulate it though. Playing PS2 on stream, at least with my setup right now, it's a little iffy because it's, you know, most of those games are 480i. And whether the deinterlacing is being handled by the OSSC or OBS, neither is very pretty. So, most of those games probably will get emulated. Or if I can use the homebrew stuff to run it at 480p, I'll do that. This is nothing but the best for you guys. Oh god. Yeah, this is a death race. Yeah, when I've had time to game in the last week or so, it's been a lot of pick up and play or high intensity stuff like this. I'm finding it hard lately to get into RPG stuff at all. Like, I really want to play a good JRPG, but I've tried a few lately and I haven't been able to. It hasn't clicked. I know I could just replay, you know, one of the classics like Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy IV or something, but I don't know. Like, I've been trying to get into Lunar the Silver Star Story complete on the PS1. So I remember that being super hyped at the time, and it still has this reputation as one of the best RPGs ever made. And I'm playing it, it's like, yeah, the presentation's pretty solid, but nothing too crazy. But the gameplay seems very basic, especially for, you know, a game released at that point. You know, you're up against Final Fantasy VII, gameplay-wise, or even other, you know, late SNES games. I know originally it was Sega CD, but the amount of battles is just insane in that one. Whoa! So we're on racing, Crash Team Racing, CTR. Generally the best kart racer ever. Haven't played it. Stuck in 30 FPS console hell. Surprising considering all the love Crash Bandicoot's getting lately. Seems like a no-brainer. Sony would probably like, although Crash Bandicoot it's third party now. It's on everything, right? What am I saying? I don't know. Best kart racer ever. That would have to be pretty good. Better than Mario Kart 8. I have a lot of nostalgia for Mario Kart 64, but the more logical part of my brain is like, yeah, it's probably Mario Kart 8. Live Alive, yeah, or Live Alive. I played about half of that a few years ago. That would be interesting to revisit. That's a really cool concept for a game. I like that there were not just different scenarios, but gameplay elements for each of those different little campaigns there. Oh my god, dead already. Yes. Ooh. Was that a little FPS dip there, F-Zero? I just was next to so many cars here. I'd like to know some of the more nerdy details about this. Just telling you like how low poly these models are already, which is a good choice. Don't get me wrong, not criticizing it. But if they have LOD versions that are like, you know, supposed to be seen at distance, that are probably like 4 or 5 polygons. I'd be curious to revisit this emulated and see if you could spot that. You know, like Mario and Mario 64 turns into like super polygon man at a distance. So just look like paper cranes or something. Watch the race, not chat. Oh god, no! Too bad. You fell to a horrible death. Yeah, it's easily the best. Mario Kart practically plays itself in comparison. Way too easy. What? You are turning off the auto steering, right, Troop? Soul Hackers 2. Yeah, it's cool that's coming out. I wish it had the style of the original. I don't really see how it's a sequel. Doesn't really seem like the same concept, but we'll see. I still haven't touched any more of 5. And yeah, there's a million Shin Megami Tensei games. They can stop making them and we'll be good for the rest of our lives. Not that they should, don't get me wrong. More the merrier. Just that there's already like 50 of them. Good funky sound. I don't know why I went flying off that jump last time. I just boosted at the wrong time, maybe? Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think I smashed the nitro at the wrong moment, that's all. I live my life one final lap at a time. There it is. Whoa! Yeah, it was my fault. Whoops. Tadu, F-Zero. Oh, yeah. So, like the 2 Russian girls, right? Are they still doing music? Sweet. Yeah, I can't say I was ever into them. I just remember the music video that I got everybody's attention. When they first were on the scene. Just got a star. There's no guardrails in that section there. Be very careful. Yeah, those F-Zero tracks in Mario Kart were a real tease, huh? They're both great. 2 of my favorite tracks in that game. Come on, Nintendo. Playing it safe here. I can use the boost unless I get past. Guy, little crash there? It's like car corpse. There we go. Flying off the map like that seems to be intentional in GX. Seen some high-level players do it a lot. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'd like to check that out. I imagine high-level play in these games is very impressive. Very high skill ceiling. I might have watched a GDQ for GX at one point. Whoops. It's a sweet spot. The acceleration curve is really gnarly if you max that out. It is actually, like, noticeably bad. Usually I feel like those tuning mechanics are pretty subtle, but not so much in this. It's like the Cheshire Cat strip there. I do wish the death race mode in this was a little more exciting. Not sure how. Maybe more traps on the track or something. It's a great concept. Maybe just a little underbaked here. Yeah, this track is... A classic F-Zero pink, though. All three of these games, like saying earlier, they do have their own definite sense of visual identity, but they pass the torch pretty well. There's enough visual continuity there. It's like, oh yeah, this is F-Zero. Not reinventing the wheel. No pun intended. Which is, I guess, exactly what the F-Zero guys did do. In real life. The recipe for the ultimate game. I thought the track is freely suspended in air. Pink Void. Yeah, the abstract stuff is cool. Although maybe it's connected. You know, maybe there's some kind of support system. So like anti-grav or extremely strong use of magnet technology. Yeah, Nintendo collaborates with Recall to bring you the racing game of the ultimate consequence. Oh! It's like that, it's a line from Game of Thrones. Either you win or you die. Man, that show got so bad. I read the first couple of books. I thought they were pretty solid. The show is being hyped up to be the second coming of Christ. And look what happened. I mean, this is a dead horse at this point. I don't need to get into this topic. It's mid-air braking, ladies and gentlemen. Great track. Great game. Plenty of opportunities for aerial death here, and I think that's my last life, so let's not blow it. Got a style on second place a little bit though. Yes. Did not like the shout from the start. It was, I think it started off, it's been a while. Again, it was like 10 years ago now. God. 2011, that show started. I thought 2 and 4 were probably my favorite seasons out of it, especially with 4. And it starts nosediving pretty hard after that. I'm sure we've all seen the meme with the horse. You guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah. Those last couple seasons. What a... Oh my god. Not just a dip in quality, a true crash and burn. A career ender for everyone involved, nearly. The two knuckleheads who were in charge of that show deserve to be, though. Golden Goose, they absolutely blew it. Those guys were actually promised, I forget their names, Weiss and Beinoff or something. D&D, Dumb and Dumber. This is when Disney was plotting out all these like Star Wars trilogies left and right. Like, you get a Star Wars trilogy, and you get a Star Wars trilogy. And those two had a deal to do their own Star Wars trilogy of films. It was like mega budget, you know, probably not a ton of creativity involved, but you're gonna make rich for life money doing this. And the last couple seasons, especially that last season, Game of Thrones exploded so hard that Disney like retracted the offer. Like, actually, guys, I think we're not gonna be doing that. Polito, hey, can I lower game audio? Yeah, sure. Sorry about that. Bring it down a little. There we go. How's that? Is that better? Could have a good balance of voiceover and rockin' tunes, so sure you can understand. Victor, hello. How are you? Much better. Excellent. Good. Let's see. I think that'll do it for F-Zero for now. Hold on a sec here. One sec. I did notice with the different setup, like I said there, we've got better audio quality, but turning systems on and on, you gotta watch out for these loud pops, you know? There we go. Alright, so I'm gonna temporarily mute game audio here. There we are, back. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the EverDrive 64 has a built-in NES emulator. And it works great. Almost as, I mean, it's a great way to play NES. It's pretty accurate. It's kind of insane. The only problem with it is that the video output resolution doesn't quite match the N64's native output resolution, so that basically just means it's a little fuzzy. Which is ironic because one of the things I was excited about was maybe switching to this for NES games for sharper picture over the Wii, but no, the Wii is still the sharper choice. So, anyway, here's our next game. Robotron 64. Another very over-the-top title. Thanks. Yeah, it's a game that deserves more attention. It's funny, I was looking at my video list earlier. The amount, it's like devil this, demon that, dark this, dark that. I'll get some more upbeat games here. But yeah, this is Robotron 64, a great version of the classic arcade game. Just crank this up to insane max speed here. Oh yeah, 90s trance soundtrack. So this game, I mean, if you're into this kind of music, I am. So it's really good. But one interesting thing about it is that it's almost a continuous like mix once you start the game. Like the track is just changing and adapting over time, which is a really cool concept, I think. Yeah, classic Robotron is great, of course. Yeah, Mario 64 style. It's too bad you can't play with his face. Should feel like could grab his goggles, pull him away, and then let him go. Smacks him and he like does a backflip or something. Anyway, let's get started. Max difficulty and speed. Because the game is a little easy natively. So you actually change camera angles here. So in case you want to play Robotron like this, you can admire these adorable robots. Look at this. He's actually gaining on me. Oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah, you can't fool around forever. Yeah. Again, like F-Zero, this isn't at 60 FPS, although it probably should be, but like F-Zero, making great use of a low poly style. Yeah, I think each enemy has a unique one. The death animations. It's just like Resident Evil all over again. So if you haven't played Robotron before, the concept, as you can tell, we're just basically fighting robots. But Robotron is kind of the original twin-stick shooter. I mean, back in the day, it was literally twin sticks in the arcade cabinet, right? I've never seen one, but I understand that's what it was like. But all of these console ports, the idea is you want to get a setup with dual directional, basically. Like, you can play this on, like, the Super Nintendo. Kind of works there because of the cross D-pad. But Genesis version, no. This works really well on the N64 pad. Oh yeah, you also have to absorb the hostages, which are affectionately named Mom, Dad, and Mikey. The kid in the mega 90s outfit, that's Mikey. And once you clear all the destroyable robots on a stage, you go to the next one. You can't destroy the big green guys, the tanks. Yeah, but you want to get the party started, hanging out with a bunch of fellow nerds. Just fire this game up on the biggest screen you've got. In a very dark room. Okay, so the old guy over there. It reminds me, I keep wanting to mention this. Something I really, like, real-life glitch or something I saw a few days ago. It's like something out of the Matrix. So, sitting in traffic, and I watched this old guy. He walked up to the sidewalk. You know, the traditional, you know, kind of like old man pose. You know, he's hunched over. He's got one hand on his hip. You know. And as soon as he made it to the street, he broke into, like, a full sprint. Like a proper marathon sprint. Like, like perfect form. And as soon as he hit the other side of the street again, he went immediately back into, like, old man posture mode. Bizarre. Like, he was conserving all of his strength for the day for this one moment. I'm telling you the most stereotypical old man pose and outfit possible. Okay? This is like something out of... I don't know. It was surreal. Geometry Wars. Yeah, I remember that being cool. It's been a long time since I played it. Oh, that's a hostage. Right. I think it might be time to install an AC in here. I just took a shower before this, and I'm already ready for another one. 100 degrees. Robotron zone. Thought you were gonna say get a bunch of nerds to come over and build robots. That too. Do that first. And when you're all unwinding, then play Robotron. Yeah, this gameplay format, the classic shooter, always enjoyable. Smash TV is another good one. That's a pretty good SNES port. Some great sound effects too here. I mean, Robotron always had the nice sounds, but yeah. I think this might have the Turok option too, where you can actually play with 2 controllers, so you can have an analog stick for both hands. Whoa. So really pick up some speed here. Yeah, Housemark, I don't know them. I haven't played Resogun or Nex Machina. It's chaos. Yes. Kind of afraid Sony acquiring Smoke Returns homogenized to go to the shoulder games. That's a safe fear to have. I just can't get into that style of game. I tried Uncharted when that came out, and everything since then that's been like that. I just can't do it. Just not my style. Williams were the masters of sound design in the arcade. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like the incredibly simple, like primitive, like graphics and sound. Again, it's like making the absolute most of the limitations you've got. It's always seems to be a recipe for certain folks to achieve really high quality products. Oh my God, that's adorable. Even that this Williams Arcade Classics on the Genesis has a bunch of these old school games on it, and those are some really good ports. They did a great job with the sound design on those, matching the arcades. Defender 1 and 2 are on there. This, I kind of wish Berserk was too, but I feel like that's probably, I don't know, it should be on there. That's kind of like the prototype for all of these games. Berserk is almost like the prototype for Robotron, the OG Robotron. Nice shades. I can't imagine how cool it must have been, that really burgeoning frontier era for video games. You know, predates me by like 20 years. But you're like just really video games as a concept, arcades as a concept starting to become a thing, you know. So you get so like, you know, jaded over time, so used to. And we've got a million great games now to choose from. New and old. It's like this whole concept of like interactive entertainment. Although obviously a lot older than the other popular forms of media. Still has a pretty rich history at this point. Anyway, enough of a trip down memory lane. We'll go back to this game from The mid-90s. This is a cool track. It's that bass line. It's like Gabber style. Should be able to see games go from Metro NES to Super. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was born in 1990, so I got to see a lot of crazy evolution of gaming. I had an NES, as you know, literally. I mean, my parents had an NES before I was born. My mom was playing that when she was pregnant with me. I was hearing the sounds of Super Mario Bros. In there and getting ready. Yeah, this track is fantastic. I think the gameplay and the music, most having a hard time concentrating. No, yeah, the N64 and 3D graphics on PC stuff. You know, Mario 64 and Quake came out. If we're talking Japanese release date for Mario 64, they came out within a week of each other. Obviously, two huge milestone games for gaming technology. In the US, Mario 64 was a few months after Quake, but still, a very short amount of a period of time going from, you know, 16-bit and quasi 3D. That's really exciting, you know. I'm very happy to have been the age that I was when all this was going on, getting to play all these games. So I could still, you know, obviously argue plenty of objective merit about stuff from that time period, but obviously there's always going to be nostalgia there for me. But I feel like for those of us who got to grow up in that period of gaming, it's almost like people like living through the classic rock period. You know, they're seeing like Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd, you know, in their prime or whatever. And ours was the video game equivalent of that. As ridiculous as that sounds. Obviously, there are plenty still cool things happening in music, too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not that big of a geek. Okay. How did Quake feel on launch? Surreal. My computer couldn't handle it. I was still playing Doom and Duke 3D. Those were the most advanced games our family computer could handle, which I loved. I love Doom and I love Duke 3D. But a few of my cousins, you know, they were a little older. They were teenagers and they were building gaming PCs. And one of them had a brand new PC when Quake came out. And I remember going over there and he didn't even answer the door. My aunt was like, yeah, he's in his room playing that new game. So I just, you know, I walk up there. He's got the shades drawn, the lights all off. And I'm walking up, you know, down the hallway, and all I can hear, you know, the ambient music of Quake, you know, the Trent Reznor soundtrack, the weird sound effects. Opening the door, and he's like, hey, not even like looking away from the screen. He's just completely enraptured in it. And within a few minutes, I was too. It seemed just very surreal, you know? There's something about it that felt very arcane and mysterious. Obviously, that's the vibe they're going for in the atmosphere of the game, but playing that, you know, was real sweet. God, really cracking up the fun now. Oh no! What he's doing. I played a little bit of Blood, not a ton. I haven't played much of the other build engine games other than Duke. A little bit of Shadow Warrior, but Duke was the king. Duke 3D, I've said this plenty of times before, one of my all-time favorite games. Unfortunately, I didn't catch up on time to launch a Crisis. Yeah. Oh yeah. I had my first gaming PC around 2004. My first job, saved up a bunch of cash because I was so hyped for Half-Life 2. I need to play this in the best quality possible. I need to play this in a blistering, what, 1024 by 768 or whatever. And I'm very glad I did. But anyway, getting that gaming PC and playing Half-Life 2 max quality, Max Payne 2 max quality, the Halo PC port, Far Cry. A lot of great PC games that era too. And then yeah, Crysis a few years later. It was like my poor gaming PC had gone from a beast to, you know, old news. Hey, what happened to the psychedelic backgrounds? We got too many enemies on screen. We can't afford the psychedelics anymore. Got one more life left though. This will probably be over pretty soon. I think I'm about ready to move on. This is definitely a game for short bursts. Oh god. No! No! Wait. Okay. Mom, Dad, and Mikey. See? I wasn't making a joke. They really called that. Oh. Oh, the humanity. Hey, Spoon. Welcome. Yeah, 33 lives. Excuse me, 33 levels on the hardest difficulty and the fastest speed. It's not too bad. I'll just be H. This is way too sensitive. There we go. Heroes of Robotron. Timmy with a 45,000. Couldn't top Ian. Or player one. Not even close. The real Kingpin. Jimmy Neutron. It's a fun style. This game, I think it looks pretty good on the N64, but at some point I like to showcase it on emulated, because it's one of those games that has that art style that upscales beautifully at higher resolutions. So let's see. Looking at my list here for the next game. Yeah, I got one more N64 in the bag. Switch that out. Let's see. Let's play a little Goldeneye. Another one of my all-time favorite games. Not just N64 games, but all games. We're talking about Time Splitters 2 earlier. This is where it all started. The original Free Radical game. Although they weren't called that yet. Still working at Rare. I think this game might have the dubious honor. It sounds a little louder. Is this still okay? Let me know if my voice is, the game's too loud again. As I say though, I think this game has the dubious honor of having a movie-based game, but having the most amount of time between the release of the film and the actual game. Other than something like, you know, The Warriors or whatnot. Obviously that's a different story. Get into the game here though. Yeah, not that it mattered though, because this game obviously sold like hotcakes and went on to be a major important title in the history of gaming. I want to just try and absorb the sights and sounds, so I'm going to blaze for the first few levels here on regular Agent. But at some point I'm going to revisit this with its own stream, and I'm going to be playing the customized Project 64, or excuse me, 1964 emulator version, where we'll be playing it 4K with mouse and keyboard support, as well as 60 FPS. But for today, it's gonna be the blurry, blocky old N64 original. Perfect Dark 64 is also very good. They're both great. The problem with Perfect Dark on the N64 is that the frame rate tanks it quite often. Basically, anytime there's something exploding, we're talking like a slideshow. So if you're going to play Perfect Dark, I probably would recommend either emulating it or playing the 360 port they made. I should say. Is it a port? It's not a remake. The updated version, we'll call it that. Yeah, this does look pretty blurry, huh? The thing is, too, I've got... Check this out. I think I've got D-Blur enabled. Yeah, D-Blur is enabled. Pretty soft picture. This is one of the less flattering levels, I think. Because of the long draw distance where things get extremely fuzzy. Like Bond's had a few too many vodka martinis before he headed out for the mission. Yeah, there's tons of the DNA in this game that you can. It's pretty like consistent throughput all the way through the last time splitters. Gameplay style. I mean, the overall game. Yeah, the gameplay. A lot of sound effects. Yeah, frame rate. Ooh. Yeah, next time will definitely be an emulator. It's gonna be like getting a pair of ultra strength prescription glasses. Or Bond taking a trip to that clinic from Thunderball. There are some amazing GoldenEye total conversions at this point. There's tons of original levels. That's been happening for years, which is awesome. But now you've got stuff like an entire, full-length game based on Goldfinger. So it's called Goldfinger 64. How awesome is that? It's, all based on the movie, of course. There's another one for The Spy Who Loved Me. All new levels, guns, music. They're still using the same sound font for this, all the same samples, which is pretty funny. Hearing these new tracks with the same samples. It's really cool though. They do things like incorporate elements of the actual film soundtracks too, beyond just like the Bond theme. Like Goldfinger, that motif is all over the place. It's well done. Some of the level design is not the best in that Goldfinger one, but for the most part it's really good. Like the second stage is in Miami. And it starts out great, but then you go inside the hotel and I guess they decided realistic level design was the way to go because there's like 3 floors and like 100 hotel rooms and you have to check out almost every single one of them. So maybe not the best idea, guys. But overall, for a fan effort, incredible. Yeah, the pencil. So I always thought it looked like too. Yeah, we'll just jump off. Bond's so cool, he does a bungee jump without the bungee. People mod mouse looking at not sure really works. Char works in this PD, but yeah, it stuns them. All you got to do is just crank up the difficulty. That's a fine compensation. It's a really cool blend, as that Virtual Cop style thing where you're shooting them in the limbs and it's having this like big reaction. This game originally was going to be on rails, like Virtual Cop. It was going to be a Virtual Cop clone, and at some point in development, they were like, "Why not actually just have it be an FPS?" And even crazier than that is that the multiplayer was a last-minute implementation. Can you imagine if this had shipped without multiplayer? They did that in the last, couple months before their deadlines. Insane. But I say, the stun mechanics, between headshots and, disabling enemies by shooting them in the arm, for a sec or whatever. I think it works with mouse look, but definitely on harder difficulties. Otherwise, it is way too easy. Also, one of the best tracks in any video game. Facility here. So good. One of my favorite games, one of my favorite N64 games, and one of my favorite game soundtracks. It's got so much low end, you know? The melodies are great, the songs are well made, but the mixing on these drums and bass lines rules. Sounds fantastic. I've never played Nightfire, but I've been listening to some of its soundtrack lately, oddly enough. It's one of the main menu themes. It's like a really funky remix. Not funky. I'm not sure what the right word would be. It's almost like a really cocky version of the Bond theme, I guess. Really flamboyant. Over the top. It's like main menu theme B, I think. Multiplayer menu theme or something. I don't know. No, I haven't touched too many of the Bond games outside of this one. Stealth. The beats. The tension. This is kind of like Mario 64, where you have a degree of granularity in the analog stick that is not really seen these days. Like, I'm moving the stick by maybe like, it has no need to be so sensitive, yet it is. And it feels really good. And I just waited too long and that door locked again. But yeah, you can really creep up that super sensitive analog stick. It's really good. You're talking about the PC version too. You could always hook up an N64 adapter. Play it with the OG. Get the best of both worlds. It does feel a little weird to play at a mouse and keyboard at first, but obviously the accuracy is quite good. Oh yeah, we're playing on Agent. We have to do any of this stuff. So there actually are some stealth mechanics in this. Obviously you can sneak up on guys, but using non-silenced weapons will draw enemy attention. So you kind of get a choice to actually play a bit stealthy or go in guns blazing. But for now we're going to stick with the silenced weapon here. This happens when you stand around playing with your PP7. Yeah, that RoboCop game, that has potential. That could be really cool. I still haven't played the Terminator game, but it does look really sweet. Obviously, I'm a very big fan of the original RoboCop. And it seems like where all the DNA is at. Some way to get stuck on one of these sides. And they like release the toxic gas or something. If Gunny moving away from the center screen will turn as a trend. I'd like to see it again. There's a new Time Splitters in development, so maybe they'll keep it original. That'll probably be an option, I'm guessing, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they revisit that control mechanic, since everything is so standardized now with the Halo controls. Yeah, the sound effects, the screeching bullet, it's fantastic. And they pulled a ton of these from the classic Bond movies, which obviously were used in other things too, but it really helps the authenticity, you know? Really fun little detail. How many we got here? Hey, we can always just shoot him too. All else fails. It's too easy, Alec. Where are you, Alec? Oh, there you go. Maybe you shouldn't be hanging around those landmines, Alec. And the other half. Look at that beautiful face. Brilliant. Well done, 006. I can see why you were chosen as one of England's finest. Oh. You're on your own, Alec. Yeah, I am playing on the easiest difficulty, Malice, so everyone, they've got the aiming skills of a stormtrooper, basically. As in, not many. It is a big, beautiful pencil. Big eyeliner for Pierce. 1 minute, 006. I'm almost ready. Let me just finish up. Favorite, hey, Gutek, favorite Bond movie? Top 3 would be From Russia with Love, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and Goldeneye. No, it's Die Another Day. That's the best one. Pierce, poor Pierce. He made a great Bond, but he really only got one good movie, in my opinion. See. It's the level of detail here that is just phenomenal. Mentioned silenced weapons. A grenade is in this game, silent. I've done that so many times. I think every time I play this stage, I do that. I mean, come on. It's a necessity. Also, check this out. Frame rate is normally around the 20 mark, but if we stand in this spot, where is it? Goes up to like 30 something. Ooh. Rising Storm when you're not aiming down sights to free aim. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's cool. Favorite Bond villain? Let me think. I don't think any particularly leap out over the others. Dr. No, the original. It's really good. Travelin' and Goldeneye. It's funny, on higher mission difficulties, one of your objectives are to take out those gun turrets, right? And if you leave without destroying them, you get that cutscene, but then you're back here and it's like mission failed. And you have to assume that Bond was shot down and exploded within seconds of that fade out. Ooh. What sheet is it? DK mode. Well, yeah, gotta turn on DK mode. Wait. I know you have to... Interesting. You have to beat the level before you can play it with cheats. At all. I know you can't progress after it, but I guess I forgot about that. Alright, no DK mode. Yes, Dr. Evil is the best Bond villain. How about you guys? What's your favorite Bond movie or favorite Bond villain? It's like Red Grant from Russia with Love is really good. Just being this like very intimidating all business guy. The fight scene on the train is really good. The version of Blofeld in On Her Majesty's Secret Service is sweet too. It's like actually charming, you know, like a guy in his position would be. Like everything else in that movie, pretty grounded. Another cool track. I remember playing this when it came out. One of those like environmental, like IRL tie kind of things. You know, enjoying the game, and then it started getting, you know, really snowy around where I lived. And shoveling outside as a little kid, coming in with like super wet socks, just like freezing, then playing the stage. I was like so stoked to play the game. I had to shovel first. You know, my parents made me shovel first. Of course, you got to do that before you play the game. It's fun. But I was so stoked I didn't even, you know, change, just like rushed in. So I could dripping wet, cold playing this. Ultimate immersion. Xena, now she's more of a henchman, right? I guess henchwoman. Yeah, she's the best. I take back my previous answers. Xena on a top is definitely the best Bond villain. Baron Samedi. Yes. Jaws, yeah, classic. I don't really like what they do to him in Moonraker, but can't win them all. Yeah, Max Zorin is good. Played this so many times. I can't remember the objectives. Usually when I revisit this, I'm playing it on my actual cartridge, so I have everything unlocked. So I just kind of pick and choose the stages. Yeah, don't blow it up. Interact with it, do not shoot it. Troop hasn't seen any. Well, go watch the ones I recommended. Or wait until they come up on a Discord stream, because they probably will be at some point. Haven't liked any you've seen. Which ones? Which ones have you seen? Other than Goldfinger. I can't remember which way I was going. Living Daylights is cool. Yeah, the two Timothy Dalton ones are good. What else is there? His second movie, License to Kill. What's his name? I don't remember. Out of his two movies, I think I like that one a little more. The villain in that one's good. Like all the drug stuff. Ed from Twin Peaks getting eaten by the sharks. Trapped. Yeah, the laser moment in Goldfinger is iconic. Hey, speaking of Goldfinger, I believe that's supposed to be the classic Aston Martin. Right there, right? Looking a little boxy though. Maybe the 80s model. Alright, if you haven't played this game before, everything is explosive, including furniture, books. Alright, maybe not books. It's a Toyota. We just couldn't handle those angles. Yeah, I'm not super into the new ones either. They're just too, like, wannabe edgy for me. I mean, I appreciate the... That's a little harsh. It's like, alright, Casino Royale, we're gonna make this serious again. We're gonna take it back to basics. Sure. Okay. But, man, it's just like... No fun allowed club. The new Bond movies. It's like, I don't feel like the movies are that much deeper to warrant this deeper take. Yeah, sound effects? Awesome. Yeah, Bond looking very stealthy. In his big puffy jacket. Reminds me of how Hong Kong 97. I still haven't played that. I've only seen the AVGN episode. It's probably enough for me though. I don't know if I actually need to touch that. Yeah, it's another great mission. Let's see. Yeah, this one's super basic on Agent. I mean, they basically all are, but, you know. Batman Begins, yeah. Batman Begins. Spider-Man 3. Oh. Another great piece of music. This was so blurry playing it back in the day that I thought this was the QuickTime symbol. It's still pretty blurry now, but this is through RGB with a deblur enabled. Imagine playing this on composite on an old crap consumer set CRT. I think plenty of the Bond movies are fun. Absolutely, especially the Roger Moore ones, because most of those are pretty silly. They don't take themselves very seriously. Octopussy is one of my favorites in that regard. It's not like a great film, but it's a lot of fun. Steve Jobs Slayer. Yeah. I mean, speaking of Steve Jobs, wasn't the villain in Tomorrow Never Dies basically Steve Jobs? Except he was like Mr. Newspaper. I don't know. Whoever that guy, he's probably on the bottom of the list for cool Bond villains. He's no bueno. That guy. Roger Moore Cadilla. Is that Moonraker? Like the pigeon that does a double take? Yes, comrade. Stack the explosive cardboard box right over there. Boris. We don't need Boris for this difficulty level. Higher difficulties we do, not this one. Yeah, this analog stick is perfect. Super tight, real good. Yeah, me and you, Spoon, we're the Roger Moore fans, I think. I mean, I like them all. I like all the Bond actors. I don't think any of them are bad. Data Thief? Yeah, this one. Here we go. Yeah, just leave that laying around there. And then... camera. I've been skipping all the mission briefings. There's a lot of funny stuff in there, too. Good info, fun quips, good stuff. Dread, yeah, the 2012 movie. I haven't seen it. I think we've talked about it before. People love it. I haven't seen it myself, though. Dread game after Up Cup. It's a likely possibility. Be right in their wheelhouse. Yeah, I'll do Silo. Do Silo and then move on to the next one. Yeah. We've got some generic briefing. We've got M. It's all business. Q. Remember to treat those timed explosives with respect. You know what happened to 004 in Beirut. Oh, and get me a picture of the satellite. There's a good shot. And the money penny. Always, yeah. Enough said. Dread 2012, yeah. I'll have to come up on a movie night in Discord. The soundtrack, I'm not sounding like a broken record here, but it's just like propulsive, like awesome melodies, great songwriting. Really no complaints. I know most of them are basically revolving around the, you know, 007 theme, the motif, but there's plenty of unique elements to all these tracks to give it plenty of variety. It's just a very assertive, confident, cool vibe in music. It's not the satellite. It was a wild ride. A guy lives here, is running comics and hated it though. Yeah, the Sylvester Stallone movie. Forgot about that. I always mix that up with Demolition Man. They're like the same movie in my mind. Most British face ever. Yeah, Demolition Man's the one with Wesley Snipes, right? He's like cryogenically frozen and wakes up in the future. It's like that dumb joke with Rob Schneider about the seashells. Alright. We're playing with the pistol for too long. Let's light him up. I wonder how much of this game you could play non-lethally. So you can definitely run past plenty of these guards. You could always knock them out with a karate chop. Excuse me, a judo chop to the back of the head. Speaking of, I always marveled at how well-rendered Bond's hands are in this game. The sound effect. Like that looks better than N64, that hand model. They knew they had to get that right. Pierce Brosnan's one request. Pierce, you want to weigh in the game at all? Yes, make sure you get the details of my hand correct. Also my eyeliner. Isn't this a satellite? The Washtide Jetta Cud. You think that's cool? Listen to the music inside of it. Let me turn this up for a sec. Listen to this. It's like the coldest beat on the N64. Beautiful. Yeah, that's insanely good. Now, like I said, I'm pretty... Isn't this the satellite? Try it again. I guess not. Yeah, that pipe sound, that's originally in the soundtrack for Goldeneye, the film. It's kind of like a motif of whoever the composer was. It's the same guy who did Leon the Professional, and you can hear that same sound effect in that movie's score too. But again, in terms of doing justice to, you know, the source material, it's just another aspect of it. Like, hey, this is an iconic part of this film soundtrack. We gotta have this in the game soundtrack. This is the satellite. The other thing was like head of a nuke or something. This is the satellite. What was the other objective? Yeah, don't kill all the scientists. Yeah, you can't take out Ormov here. I'm pretty sure he's invincible. If I recall correctly, even if you pull out the golden gun here, you still can't take him out. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Bond does kill a lot of people in this game. What was I gonna say? Apparently, that's one of the reasons why we didn't get any Bond games for a long period of time, because Barbara Broccoli, one of the two people in charge of the Bond franchise nowadays, they're like, these games aren't really representing the character. Like, he's doing more than just mowing down hundreds of people. You know, which is why I think it took, you know, IO Interactive probably coming to them with a proposal that I'm sure is going to be incredible. I can't wait for whatever that turns out to be. But I'm guessing it's going to involve a lot more spy stuff. Still be some shooting, but, you know, be closer to the ratio of the films, I would imagine. But Barbara needs to get the stick out of her ass, too, because this game is incredible. And if that's what's holding up the modern ports of this, then she needs to get over it. Okay. One more stage, because again, another awesome one, another awesome piece of music. The other thing here too, they expanded the movie a bit. You know, it's like, hey, there's not enough here for like a well-rounded video game. So there's like a single scene in the movie, it's like 2 minutes long. I don't think Bond is even in it. It's like Xena on a top. Her introduction, maybe, as she's squeezing the life out of some Navy guy. Oh no! He was perfectly silhouetted behind this hostage. Sorry, man. Anyway, so just this teeny little scene in the film, but it's like, hey, this would make a ship. That'd be a cool level. Rescue hostages as well. Do my best. Pretty soon here we're going to be able to rock the double Dutch. The double Deutsch. Double Dutch, just like the Fatback song. Tracker. Let's put that tracker where they'll never find it. What a shame. He was a good man. What a rotten way to die. Eidos, Deus Ex guys? Yeah, they are now. I mean, yes, other than the original and Invisible War, they have been. Yeah. Ion Storm. Austin. Warren Spector, charge of the classic original Deus Ex. Another one of my top 5 games of all time. Basically everything up there for me. It's got the combination of incredible gameplay, great soundtrack, some innovative elements. You know, my choices are all pretty non-controversial for best game of all time. What are the other 4? Would probably be. I just branch it out to top 10. But Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, and Dark Souls 3. They're all tied. I mean, we'll just say that. They're all similar enough where they're tied. Deus Ex, System Shock 2. Oh god! That sounded horrible. Super Mario World, Super Mario 64. Make sure I get everybody on this level here. A lot of Nintendo games, that's for sure. A Deus Ex sequel with Warren Spector in charge. Be nice. Where's that last hostage? Yeah, there's still one of them somewhere. I might be right on the nose of failing this. It's like 2 or 3 of them have been executed. Frame rate up here is pretty bad. Oh god, that one was my fault. What a shame. Thoughts on the modern Deus Ex prequels? I played Human Revolution when it came out, and I thought it was really good. I'd have to replay it. But I remember it being good, but this was now, oh my god! 11 years ago, so... Man, time flies. Where's this last hostage? Mankind Divided, I've only played a few minutes of, so I couldn't speak to that. Game has like a central hub, right? Prague? Alright, if I don't find this next guy in a minute here, I'll go and move on to the next thing. Something sharp and high FPS. There's a palette cleanser. In the basement. There we go. These guys, yeah, you take that hostage in that hallway over here. I think that's it. If this isn't, like I said, I'll just get next game here. You rushed it. Well, there were 2 things with Mankind Divided. I bought it on Steam when it came out. For one, the performance was terrible. The PC performance was running really, really poorly. Secondly, I don't know. I was never really into Adam Jensen as a character. And starting off and immediately hearing his like, oh, yeah. You know, I'm like a really tough guy. I wasn't feeling it. So got a refund, but then I bought it again on sale like 2 months later for $5. So we'll see. I'll give it a shot at some point. We'll see. But I play the original Deus Ex usually once a year. And I still, every time I play it, I'm discovering new things, new paths. The Golden Goose. It's not even just the voice actor, too. Do you remember when the game was coming out, the art director in charge of the game was... He's literally Adam Jensen. He just made himself into a video game character. You know, he's like the cooler, edgier version, of course, but I was watching this like behind-the-scenes video, and hilarious. They've got... Oh, I can't remember his name. Him on screen talking about the character, and then in the top right corner of the screen, they've got concept art of Adam Jensen, and he's like drawn in the same profile that they're shooting the art director, and that had to have been intentional. It's like, it's hilarious. Anyway, let's see. Bring up my list of games here. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for the old N64. So I'm gonna grab the controller, play a little something 2D. Another 2D fighting game on the Saturn. The master of 2D fighters. Spoon, this is one of the games you recommended to me last year or whatever it was. That original list of Saturn games. Plato, I like Jensen more than Denton. Interesting. All subjective at the end of the day, though, my friend. Nothing wrong with that. What did you like about Jensen more than Denton? Out of curiosity. Crap. Oh, I can't say enough about this arcade stick, this Hori fighting stick on the Saturn. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. I love this thing so much that I'm trying to figure out a way to mod it to be like universal so I can use it with other systems. I'm in love with this thing. Even beyond just fighting games, this thing, I love it. It feels fantastic. So, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but all of my systems are back. They were gone for a while, getting recapped and a few mods done to a few of them. But I've got them all back. And they're running great, better than ever. So maybe a small difference, but it's like the colors and brightness slightly more vibrant. Of course, using the Fenrir here, so no shenanigans with bad disc burns. So, yeah, JC sounds like he's 40 and he's been smoking a pack a day. He's got so many great lines. My God. Oh, you're gonna burn all right. Poor Dan. He didn't sign up for this. I'm not sure which... I've been trying the other one, X-Men vs. Street Fighter. They're very similar. Like, this one came out a little bit after, but very similar games. Slightly different roster. I'm not sure why they didn't just include everyone that was in that game in this one. Check this out. Something I discovered recently. If you hit start after the victory screen, you can take control back, and even though the enemy is unconscious, they still have active hitboxes, which is a lot of fun. Oh, and JC, stay out of the women's bathroom, would you? Our sort of behavior reflects more badly on the agency than it does you. Oh my god, JC, a bomb. A bomb. Yeah, classic stuff. Heck yeah, I love that game. Capcom had some of the best depictions of some of those Marvel characters. I agree. In this case, definitely, I mean, they are some, like Wolverine and Hulk here never looked cooler. Spider-Man. But yeah, these games are phenomenal. Incredible sprite art. Great gameplay. Hard to beat. Sure, like this is an era where 2D games were starting to get slammed in some gaming magazines. Like, you're not gonna play that old 2D crap, are you? Like, what was it? GamePro? They were comparing... Like, Castlevania 64 was about to come out. And they're like, oh, this looks incredible. Looks way better than that old boring pixel art on the PS1 in Symphony of the Night. And it's like, you're gonna talk about phrases that have aged badly. I mean, come on. No, Venom is not in this one. He's in the next game, which is the first Marvel vs. Capcom. Which I have on the Dreamcast, but I'm trying to figure out a way to get the Dreamcast to output in 240p so we can get the sprite art looking the way it was supposed to be seen. And not 480i or 480p. Yeah, this one has the assists spoon, but it's just your partner character. They're mostly pretty useless. I mean, some of them might be good. I don't know. Hulk's obviously very big and slow, but strong. He also has some hyper armor for a few frames if someone's launching into a combo, which can potentially save your bacon. Oh, crap. Hold on a sec. Single cut now. Let me check the connection here. There we go. Okay, make sure everything's nice and tight. Sorry about that. Let's see. How's that look? There we go. Yeah, sorry about that. The SCART cable going into my OSSC was a little loose. Some of your partner is a excellent counter and combo starter. Yeah, I guess I'm showing my noobness here. I'm still not very good at this game. In these games. Basically just good enough to make it through the campaign. Beyond that, I'm still working on it. There's a lot of cool background details in these stages. It's like other characters making little cameos and whatnot. Like obviously you've got Peter Parker over there. His spider sense is going crazy. But if one of you is playing as Spider-Man, he's replaced with J. Jonah Jameson. It's a nice touch. This is one of those games that requires the expansion cart too on the Saturn, the 4 meg. It's like all those additional frames of animation. It's what really gave Saturn the edge for these games versus their PS1 equivalents. Yeah, that black screen with a green font, that's my, it's a capture card when it's not receiving a signal. It's very sci-fi. Obviously, it's a bad thing if you guys are seeing it, but... Yeah, the super jump. And Wolverine's got the nice kick that can take advantage of that. Hulk in his New England Patriots outfit. Hulk is all natural, baby. It's just chicken and rice. Yeah, these games are basically where it ends for me on Marvel. So I enjoy them, but obviously it probably goes without saying at this point, not into all these new movies and stuff. And the effect that they've had on the industry. Jeez, he eats his greens, and you are what you eat. I will say I like the end boss fight of X-Men versus Street Fighter a lot more than this one. This one's a little silly. That one has a cool concept. This is a little, you'll see, hopefully. But yeah, it's animated so beautifully. Like, this is such a lost art in video games. Look how beautiful just that walk animation is. The idle animation's everything. It's real artistry. Oh, spoil my fun. Watched a Marvel movie in years. I think, what was the last one I watched? Oh, man, I can't remember. I was working a retail job and a lot of people there really love those movies. So the break room, one of them was usually on the TV. I think that the last Thor movie, one that has like Jeff Goldblum in it for a second. I think that's the last one I saw. Parts of, anyway. Oh no! Howard the Duck. Man, That brings me back. I think the last time I watched that was probably 1996. Was that directed by George Lucas? He had something to do with it, right? For some reason, that's in my mind. Sam Raimi one, yeah. Poor Sam. I'm sure he made a truckload of money, though. And Bruce Campbell got another cameo, right? The real best leading man of our generation. Most criminally underrated actor of all time. I don't know. He's my favorite. Yeah, this is the final boss here. Mecha Goki, or Cyber Akuma. You can tell he's cyber because he's got a big thing on his arm and a goggle. And wings. One more. Executive producer. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, an X-Men vs. Street Fighter. It ends with, after you beat Apocalypse, you and your partner have to fight each other. Like, whoever your second pick was jumps over to the other side, and AI takes over, and that's your final boss. Which I think is a cool concept. I always like when games do that. .2D Capcom is just magnificent. So good now. Their portfolio took it. I agree. They're not a 10 out of 10 company. They're like an 8.5 out of 10 company now. Still great. They had a rough patch for a while there. They're early 2010s. And they're like farming out all their franchises to Western developers. Things were looking pretty bad for a while, but the last few years they've come back. Put out a lot of good games. Cyber Akuma is insanely tough to beat. Good job on first try. Well, I'll let you in on my little secret. Okay? I'm pretty sure I have the game set to the lowest possible difficulty. So, that's the only reason why. Like I said, I'm a noob to this one. Still a rookie. Let's see. I'm gonna let you guys decide on the last game for this evening. Two kind of similar games where they use actors for the characters, you know, for what that term is called, pre-rendered characters, using digitized actors, both with very cheesy cutscenes, live-action cutscenes. Shinobi X on the Saturn here, or MK, aka Mortal Kombat Mythologies, starring Sub-Zero on the PS1. Two very cheesy games starring ninjas. Both very funny. I think Mythology is probably the funnier one. But Shinobi definitely has the better gameplay. Shocking no one, I'm sure. So yeah. You guys pick. Tell me what you want to see.
Game over.
I don't like how it turns AAA to Cap. Thumbs down for that. Yes, the Sub-Zero game. Oh yeah. Both with some very cheesy goodness. Hyped up. Can't decide. Both seem interesting. Maybe Shinobi? We need one more vote for a tiebreaker here. Sub-Zero or Shinobi?
Choose your alter ego.
Black art. Yeah. Great sprite. This guy is... I don't know what he's from. Some manga or something? I don't remember. I think we talked about this, Spoon. Yeah, all beautifully animated. Cyclops. Look at that. She might have a problem with your ribcage, Scott, but you look good. Yeah. All right. 2 more votes for Sub-Zero, so that seals it. I'll definitely play some more Shinobi at some point, though. Don't you worry. Because Shinobi, despite a few frustrating parts, is actually a good game. This is probably controversial, but I think I might prefer it over Shinobi 3, honestly. Shinobi 3 is great, but the gimmick levels kind of kill it for me. You know, riding on the horse slows it down big time. It's way too easy. These auto-scroller levels. The surfboard level has one of the coolest songs on the entire system. But, again, the stage itself is kind of lame. Revenge of Shinobi is definitely that best one there, yeah. Alright. Let's switch over to the PlayStation from the Saturn. Are you ready for the greatest intro sound of all time? Definitely one of them. I'm going to turn it up for this. For me, there's really no competition. If we're going to compare classic startup sounds, PS1 is definitely the king. Followed by Dreamcast. Happy to oblige, guys. Yeah, stand-up comedian, interesting. PS2, pretty good. It's not quite up there for me. It's like silver medal. PS2. Dreamcast better, huh? It's definitely a contender. It's for me, PS1 edges it out, but Dreamcast is very close. Make sure I pick the right Mortal Kombat game here. Dreamcast is... Ooh, boy. I might end on that. After I finish playing this game, if I forget, remind me. And I'll play the Dreamcast startup just to close things out. PS2 it's definitely good. The pantheon of the all-timers. It's PS1, Dreamcast, PS2, and the Windows 95 startup sound, which was actually composed by Brian Eno. Yes, that Brian Eno. He made the startup noise for Windows 95. He's been interviewed about it a few times. It's pretty interesting. He's like, they sent me like 50 adjectives, many of which were conflicting. Anyway. This voice, it's pitch shifted, so it could be anybody, but it does sound like the Devil May Cry 1 intro. The guy's talking about Sparta. But one man stood up. Oh, Brian Eno. Who is Brian Eno? He's very quiet. Yeah, it might be. Let's see here. Oh yeah, it's really quiet. We turn this up. Testing, 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 testing. This is very quiet. Okay. Let's see, how does that sound? Brian Eno is a musician he's produced a lot of records. He did stuff with the Talking Heads, but he's also put out several albums of his own between real hardcore ambient music. Like, he is the originator of that term, ambient music. He's also done some other forms of electronic music, but he's really fantastic. Great musician and an innovator. All right. Let's all sit back, relax, and enjoy the highest quality acting PS1 has to offer. Although, actually, no, we don't get that until after we beat the first stage. The interaction between Sub-Zero, the Lin Kuei Grandmaster, and Quan Chi, so we'll see. Yeah, audio should be good now once the game starts up, but if it's not, just let me know. I'll tweak it again.
You will fail.
Oh, okay. Get used to the controls here. Classic MK. High punch, low kick, high kick, block, and run. This game is... I've got mixed feelings about this game. It's got some things about it that are very endearing, and it's very funny, but the gameplay is not the best. And the game actually kind of gets worse as it goes along. Also, you have to push a button to turn around, which is probably the single biggest oddity about this whole thing. But it lets you do this. You fun little Sub-Zero dance. An amazing quote about the limitations of a medium becoming its signature and how people become nostalgic and strive to imitate those limitations which are no longer around. It's a great quote, and I agree. I mean, you can see it in pretty much every form of art, including video games. The influx of indie games right now that are... We're in that era of trying to ape PS1 and like N64 era. Yeah, just your typical Shaolin Temple. Mausoleums for walls and giant Indiana Jones smasher traps. Is it because there are moves that are depending on your stance? No, it's just to change which way you're facing so you can fight enemies. I think the idea was, it's like, okay, if you're fighting in Mortal Kombat, you're always facing your enemies. So when you press away from them, you're still facing that direction. But when you combine that with a platform game, which this also is, it starts to feel really weird.
The map is mine, Sub-Zero.
Right out of the gate, I can tell you two things that would have helped this out a lot. A more dynamic camera that would zoom while you're in active combat, just zoom out a little bit. And also, having it be dynamic in terms of, if you're actively fighting somebody, maybe have it automatically turn, or just have it always face based on what the player is doing. Oh,
Spare me.
I'll spare you, buddy. I'm just interested in the sacred map of elements. What's wrong with Wolfie? Your foster parents are dead. I've the joke about the yeah, I'm not even gonna go there. I've said it a million times. What is the T-1000 doing while he's like waiting for them to call? Pretending to be the stepmom, just hanging out, making sandwiches. Very silly, if you think about it. Anyway, we're out of here. Your foster parents are dead. Alright, I'm gonna turn this up.
Grandmaster, in honor of the Lin Kuei, I bring you this sacred map of elements.
Once again, our most cunning assassin and thief is successful. At ease, Lin Kuei warrior.
Greetings.
I see the ninja has been successful in retrieving my map, as I have foreseen.
It's a
Let's get
paintball mask
something
for
straight.
Sub-Zero
I
there.
am not a ninja. I am Lin Kuei. Scorpion was a ninja.
Ah, yes,
Your Japanese counterpart.
How unfortunate that you happened upon him in
The
your
Rock.
battle with those pesky Shaolin monks.
Is the
Scorpion
actor
was
there?
tipped off. He knew I was breaking into that temple, and if he wasn't there, there wouldn't have been a battle. You are responsible for this sorcerer.
Well, I've also retained Scorpion services. In case you failed, I needed some assurance.
Your peace of mind almost cost me this mission.
Enough!
Oh my.
Quan Ji, tell me, what about our payment?
Oh, yes,
What about our
I
payment?
almost forgot.
The same guy playing, this is Richard DeVizio or something? It's the same guy that plays Kano
Your clan.
and several other classic MK characters. He was the actor. In the games, not the movie.
Fools, vanquished in one transaction.
And I've personally made certain that every last remnant of their clan has been eliminated. Forever.
You see, Sub-Zero, you can trust a sorcerer sometimes.
Oh man, do you hear that?
We will use this map
He
on
couldn't
the
hold
next
it back.
mission.
He started laughing halfway through that line. I would
Quan
too.
Chi has once again retained your services.
This map you stole
You can trust a sorcerer sometimes.
predates man's recorded history on Earth. For thousands of years, the Temple of Elements has been hidden in what is now known as the Himalayan
Now he describes it as a map, but it looks almost more like one of those mats you'd get at like a Chinese restaurant.
Fine.
Where it's just
I
like,
get to the temple, and then what? What's inside?
oh, never mind.
Small amulet. Worthless to you, but let's just say it has great sentimental value to me.
If it is so precious, why
Like
don't you
zodiac
get it
signs and
yourself?
whatnot.
I cannot enter the temple until the four elements within its walls have been defeated. And I am not on the best of terms with the gods of your realm, especially your god of thunder.
See this picture of fire?
Tell
This
me
is where the
about
fire
these
temple is.
elements.
They are the four elements which comprise the very existence of your realm. They are earth, wind, water, and fire. With your mastery of the element of cold, you have an advantage that no other human has, and that is the ability to defeat the elements. I have foreseen this.
Goatsy. So there, the entrance to the temple is hidden this whole time. What is the deal with some MK games trying to have a serious story? Yeah, sure, we'll save the game. Why not? Or story at all. I like the story and lore in Mortal Kombat, at least the older ones. Windu. I don't think you should. It's worth taking very seriously, but it's kind of fun. It's surprisingly dense, but I like it in like a really over the top kind of like comic book type way, you know. Here, let's see. This game is very, very quiet. I'm trying to get a good mix here. Hard to tell right now. Just get the lightning. Oh. Yes. See, Miyazaki was just playing this game. That's where he got the idea for these torrent wind blasts. That's fair. No, it's not. Anything working as a good writer. Yeah, of course. MK9 Star's pretty entertaining. Yeah, that was the last one that was the last time I was into it. Raiden keeps trying to fix everything with time travel, but he keeps like just making everything worse. That's fun. So it's interesting juxtaposition here. The traditional 2D background, which looks really good compared to these big blocky platforms. But you see what I'm talking about, the dynamic camera stuff. They do it sometimes, you just don't get it for combat. Leap of faith, okay. Yeah, this game, like I said, has its cool aspects. It does have some cool art design, has a great soundtrack. I like the soundtrack in this a lot, but the overall gameplay quality is... Yeah. Like, look at this. I was stuck on this for like a week when I first played it. Jumping on these spoons. Yeah, Latria, that too. Miyazaki, you hack. What's up with the soundtracks for the new MKs? Is Dan Forden still doing them? They seem like they've lost a lot of their character. It's a lot more generic now. Playing this directly after playing Marvel Superheroes vs. X-Men. What a tonal whiplash. What a control and quality whiplash. God. Oh. No, this game's it's fun. I think I've recommended him before, but there's a YouTuber named Mr. G-Star321. And he's hilarious. He's done lots of playthroughs for a lot of different fighting games. I know he's a really big fan of Mortal Kombat. He's basically an Australian version of AVGN, except none of it is scripted. He's like, oh, he starts off and he's like, yeah, I love this game, you know, it's classic. You know, and he pretty quickly loses his cool, and it's amazing. His playthrough of this is legendary. He's basically saying all these same things, like starting out where it's like, you know, this game's really underrated. This game's pretty good, you know, it's got really good. And then by the end of it, he's like, I take everything I said back. Every single positive thing I said about this game. It's terrible. It's abhorrent. A joke. Trash. Yeah, his lightning flashes are pretty nice. I might cop that idea from my ninja game, actually. So, are we waiting for a wind or leap of faith? Oh my god. Yeah, the chalk. See what the party Richter. Grand Shinobi X, I thought it inspired ninja game. I appreciate the effort. It's coming. I'm gonna. What I can do if you want. Each time I finish a stage, I can post a demo on the Discord. Guys, continue to give feedback if you want, or to see how it's coming along. I've been wanting to work on it for like this past week, but I have been super busy and have not had any time to. It's been a lot going on. It's been a lot of very frustrating, unfortunate things happening, unfortunately. How hard is it to get demos out? Not hard at all. Take me like a minute. The second stage is finished. It just needs the boss at this point. And we missed. It's okay. Tell you what, let's move on to Shinobi. I'll play a little bit of that because I can't take this anymore. I Can't take another second of this game. So we'll play a little Shinobi. We'll go with both. But once I finish up the boss for the second level, I'll share that demo out again. Back to Saturn. Turn it down. Oh. No, I'm still very excited about the Ninja game, and I have a possible title in mind, but I'm gonna hold my cards close to my chest for now. Some more cheesy ninja goodness. Oh, you're a little loud. Bring that down a little bit. Yeah. Fall animation reminds me of Heart of Darkness. Fall constantly. Yeah, so these games in that era, those platformers. I mean, it's very funny the first time it happens. No doubt. You see, Shinobi here went to the same BMX store that Sub-Zero did for his armor. I just did the Vulcan mind meld. Yes. Yeah, this is awesome. I thought that was a copyright symbol on ninjutsu. Shinobi X. So this game was released in Japan, of course, but also US and Europe. The European version, Sega of Europe, they did this sometimes, Sega back in the day. Sega of Europe decided, hey, we don't like the soundtrack very much, so we're going to hire, I think his name is Richard Jacques. So the European version has its own soundtrack, which is the version we're playing here. I think it is better, but obviously you may disagree. No, cool soundtrack for sure. Spoon, yeah, you're right. That's very similar. Interesting. Yeah, now that you mention it. He's thinking about it too. It sounded like my PlayStation. Yeah, basically, you know, similar mechanics to the last two Shinobi games. But a few differences. More of an emphasis on the sword play, I think. Dedicated button for both the sword and the shuriken. Let me know if volume mixing too. It's hard with all these when you play a bunch of different games because it can be really different in terms of output. Could always bust out a compressor and limiter, I guess. Yo! Is there any game where real model scanning look good? Oh my god! Yeah, Clay looks great. Goro in the original Mortal Kombat looks good. I think in general the MK1 models look nice. They're a lot lower fidelity than MK2 and 3, but the lower fidelity helps blend the style a little more. Yeah, Doom used some references as well. A lot of G.I. Joes. Also, the bombs in this one are fun because they no longer look like plastic explosives, and now like Acme Co. Looney Tunes bombs. That was cool. Yeah, the dedicated block is nice, which I only found out recently is in Shinobi 3. But you need to be using a 6-button pad to be able to do that. Otherwise, you just hold down the attack button. Yeah, this has some fun gameplay. I like it. Oh yeah, Primal Rage. It's been a long time since I've thought about that game. I'll have to revisit that at some point. Great concept for a fighting game. So we cut down some bamboo. Bishamon. Yeah, all the weapons as well in Doom. Those are all photos of like airsoft rifles and whatnot. Most of them anyway. Which then get touched up. A lot of really cool homemade aspects to that game. And others like it. It's a spirit. It's Bishamon, I guess. That's what he says when you pick up the power-up, but every time you swing your sword, he pops out. Now, here we go. Yes! See the Saturn controller on the floor there? No, it's not that. It's kind of hard to tell anyway, Mouse. That's a great image right there. That would make a cool avatar. Maybe that'll be my new one. I'll ditch Gandalf. No. No, Gandalf's too cool. Watching and chatting on a phone must be challenging. I've watched some streams on my phone before, but doing that and talking I feel like is probably a challenge. Another cool stage. Certain games, it's really common with a lot of European platformers in the 90s, where it's kind of not always clear what direction you're supposed to be going in. the Shinobi games, obviously they're Japanese, but managed to do a bit of that, but it's never a mystery where you're supposed to be going. It never feels like maze-like. Yeah, another cool stage here. Mount Fuji. Oh. Troop, did you play the, speaking of the ninja game, did you play the first demo? I can't remember. If so, what'd you think of it? You mentioned the fire mouse. It's funny you say that because that explosion graphic uses the same color palette for Bishamon, so it's like very extra easy mistake to make. Yeah, I love these flutes. Cool soundtrack. Oh, naughty ninjas. Half-Life blew me away with how I was able to intuitively progress through the stage despite... Yeah, classic game. Fantastic. And it does it really well, like you said. Definitely need to be playing that at some point on stream. Another one of my all-time favorites. I'm not sure which I prefer. It used to be Half-Life 2 by a mile, but now I feel like I like them pretty equally. Half-Life 1. If I had to choose, you put a gun to my head. I don't know. I love them both. I love Black Mesa. I love the kind of like 50s B-movie vibe you get at points, like the radioactive green goop. Stuff like that. Half-Life 2 has some amazing stages. But... yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this gameplay, really good. Some of the stages in the game are not the best, but the gameplay is perfect. There's a lot you can do. How far along completion-wise was the game at the time of the first demo? Well, in terms of actual completed content, that was it. That was all that existed at the time. The design document is pretty much complete for everything that's going to be in it. But, yeah. One of these things where it's, I just need free time to like sit down and crank it out, you know? Ninja very stealthily stomping his way through the house here. Half-Life 1 and 2 in the episode is just god tier for me. I agree, Spoon. I love them both. I love it all. Oh. See, it's kind of funny. They're treating her like it's a relay race or something. Like instead of her being taken directly to the big boss or whatever, it's just like passed from boss to boss along the way. So it's all good fun. But yeah, the design document of the game is basically complete. So I have it all mapped out and planned out, but So actual, you know, iterating the stuff is obviously a little harder than just coming up with ideas. It starts to get very silly. Hey, Hugh, you want to be in a video game? Sure. So you get this mix here too now with 2D traditional enemies, these weird dinos. This is like the dinosaur facility. So you already kind of had this in Shinobi 3, but it wasn't dinosaurs specifically. It's like biological creature research facility. Oh, but you get something new here. We'll be seeing him in a sec. Here he is! Look at him! Oh my god. Isn't that incredible? This baseline is incredible. Yeah, Shinobi, the Shinobi games always do this. You start with like the traditional, like, old school Japanese stuff, and you get the like research facilities, some urban stuff. They probably did. They probably got some action figure. Just took a quick photo and then drew that eye in MS Paint. Are you going up there? Yeah, it's kind of real dinosaur. Oh, of course. Some big scary ones back there. Look at that. Oh yeah. Hello Anime Nerd 101. Welcome, pal. I have played PS2 Shinobi. I'll be doing a dedicated stream for that one at some point. That game is good. It's also hard as nails. I remember that being... I haven't really played it much. I've picked it up a couple times since it came out, but when it first came out, I got it. Me and a friend marathoned it over the weekend. We got stuck so many times. The final boss of PS2 Shinobi is ridiculous. Alright. Yeah, basically just keep doing this. There you go. The final boss being so cheap. Yeah, it's outrageous. If I recall correctly, you don't even have a floor in that final boss fight. Like, it's all happening mid-air, if I remember correctly. So while you're fighting the last boss, he's spawning in other enemies. And you have to... Every time you hit an enemy, you can do another air dash. So you have to use the enemies he's summoning to stay afloat in the air, basically. It's outrageous. At least that's how I remember it. But if it's not that specifically, it's something similar. Hey, isn't this a track on the Rocky IV soundtrack? That classic sword sound. It's like Goldeneye, the classic bullet whizzes. It's the equivalent. Mad Doctor. It's good. Quality. Cardboard boxes. An important element of any 80s, 90s low-budget action film. Shinobi! They're holding your girlfriend in the cardboard box factory! Oh. Okay. Another stage or two and call it a night, I think. This one's pretty good, though. Back to more traditional Japanese environment. Guys remind me of the Bloody Nights from Symphony of the Night. Not as overboard. Listen to this. Yeah, this is great music. This is very fitting. This guy's making a return from Revenge of Shinobi. Which is still the king for me, although this is close. Revenge of Shinobi also has some really annoying parts in it, but overall it's a great game. Pogo technique is very powerful. So you can actually like bounce and keep doing it. Why not? I'm not sure what causes that sound to be made, but it's another fun little aspect of the game, I guess. Yes. Ooh, I needed that. I like the interactive stage stuff you get sometimes in here. It's a minor thing, but adds some variety. Yeah, the blocking and fighting feels very fine-tuned. It does feel very good. For the most part. This next boss is really good too. That'd be a good place to end it. Along with another fun cutscene. Whoa! There it is again. I don't know why he says that. One thing that is a little strange is they removed all of the Shinobi magics except for the screen clear one, which you have to pick up in the stage. They just don't. You don't start with it. You can see it there next to my life bar. Yeah, flex your shurikens back at you. Excellent. Alright, yeah, the boss, it's a cool boss. Should do some of that Ganon type stuff. Reflecting the spirit ball back at him. Also while he's lighting your platforms on fire. I'm not sure if there's any consistency to the... Oh, God. Sad to get that painting on every door. And wouldn't you? It's a pretty sweet painting. You don't have the same Japanese portrait repeated 50 times in your house? Yeah, one of these games where the amount of things you can do with a sword is probably overkill in terms of the gameplay. There we go, finish it off style. Yeah. It's another really cool touch. Each of these stage clear screens, every time you get to one, it adds another instrument for that little fanfare. Like that. Excuse me. Yes, he sounds... If I recall correctly, this is a pretty long cutscene, so maybe this is the right spot. I'll let it play out, of course. Oh, we gotta do the Dreamcast intro to really close out the evening. Say your dad showed her this technique? I'm getting some weird vibes here.
殺人にかかれて山をも簡単に消せるというが。
死を隠していた意味がわかるような気がする。
Later. The grace of the ninja. Yes, my pleasure. Yes! Now that's how a ninja dives into some water. The true shinobi technique. Shinobi life jacket. Yeah, this stage is the pits. This is a good spot to end it. So here, let me unplug this controller. Wind this back up. Yeah, this stage, trust me, you don't want to see that. I mean, I might revisit this at some point on stream, but I do need to wrap this up. Oh, just broke the elastic for this controller. Damn. I do need to wrap this up, so as promised, here, I'll get that Dreamcast thing going up. Both are the same joke. It's a good joke. No harm, no foul. I was gonna say, 2 things about upcoming streams. Number 1, I don't think I'm gonna plan on doing them on Wednesdays for the next few weeks at least. Maybe if I can, but it just, there's a lot going on and it seems like I'm getting a lot of surprises one way or the other. So I would say for now, not plan on them. So be back Sunday. Also, I was thinking of pushing the start time for these streams on Sunday back a little bit. To be honest, just so I can enjoy a little bit more, summer while I've got it here. I live in New England and nice weather and summer are both very brief, fleeting things. So maybe. I know some of you are in some time zones where that would present an issue, but just throwing it out there. We'll think about it. Maybe talk about it some more on Discord or something. Anyway, yeah. I have a few ideas for a few more short videos that I'd like to get done in the next few weeks as well. So keep an eye out for those, as well as that next Ninja game demo, which hopefully within a week or 2 should be able to share. But yeah, I'm gonna sign off. I'll leave you with the Dreamcast thing, but I'm gonna turn the mic off here. I'll leave you with the Dreamcast startup. But thank you, as always, everyone, for tuning in, hanging out, checking out my stuff. These streams, very much appreciated. So thank you, everybody. Hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time.